to make Spider-Man web shooters. No, not the real thing, but this mock toy. It can do a ton of cool stuff like retrieve things, knock over things, and impale things. Now, if you still want to make this, almost all of the electronics that you need can be found in an electric stapler. They generally retail for about 20 bucks, but I got mine for free in my local garbage can. Always an option.
Begin by cannibalizing the electric stapler. The only components that we need are the coil, PCB, and power cord. Everything else is rubbish.
Now, we can actually launch projectiles with this component only.
Locate the trigger button on the PCB. When activated, the coil will turn on for a brief moment, but just long enough to launch a metallic object. So I've plugged in the corpse of my stapler. I've placed a bolt inside of my coil, and when I press the button... Nice. Let's try this out a few more times. I'm going to use this dart as my harpoon. There are so many objects that you can use. I'm using this dart because I have it and it works. Now print out this PDF. Glue the paper from the PDF on some foam board and cut out those pieces. Assemble these pieces with hot glue as seen on the PDF diagram. We're going to stuff the PCB inside of a glove to make our toy look less like a weapon. Glaze the PCB with electrical tape. Then glaze the tape with glue. Finally, stuff the PCB inside of the glove. To make the PCB fit, I had to cut a slot inside of my glove. I covered this slot with electrical tape. I placed a patch of blue tape where the button is. Now glue the coil to your base, and glue the base to your glove. I'm using a GM9 motor as my winch. I'm using it because it makes an extremely pleasant, high-pitched whining noise, as you'll notice from the video. The specific motor that I'm using is really old, but it still does the job just fine. I screwed a bolt into the motor's hub. This gave me a nice axle which I could smother with tape. I kept on adding tape until I could just fit the spool over the axle. After gluing the spool in place, I drilled a hole through it and fastened some string to the hole. I wrapped a ton of string around the winch. I glued my motor to the motor mount. I taped the string to my dart. I connected my motor to a 9-volt battery and push button in a simple circuit. I secured the battery in place with elastics, and I secured the switch in place with glue. Now take a second to admire handiwork. It looks pretty plain, eh? I styled my web shooter up with a bunch of electrical tape. I also added a laser pointer. I styled it first, of course, though. We're ready for a test run. Power the shooter, cock the motor, and fire. Reset the motor and retrieve.
We can make our web shooter portable as well. Now, the electric stapler circuit requires AC power to function. Now, we can't really attach an AC wind turbine to an arm, but we can stuff a power inverter and a lead-acid battery inside of a backpack.
The power inverter will take the battery's DC voltage and turn it into AC. I've connected my web shooter to the power inverter and my power inverter to the battery. And I've stuffed the whole thing safely in a bag.
There you go. A working Spider-Man web shooter. I know, you can't go swing from building to building with it. Well, you can, but just not twice. Anyways, I genuinely and sincerely hope that this video somehow helps you. And I'm not just saying that because I entered it in a contest on Instructables. But hey, if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate the support in the form of a vote. And if you didn't like the video, well, ask someone that you don't like to vote for it. Sounds good to me. Anyways, I just realized that I forgot to thank you for watching the video. Let's just pretend that I did. Until then, bye!